So, Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you for joining this morning. I'm glad that you three have joined. I know there's a few people away at the moment, but let's continue and we'll record this anyway. So it should be okay. So, we're talking about Maharaj Prithu and his pastime. And now, because he has pacified the earth, and now he's looking after the citizens nicely, they're doing yagyas. They've done 99 war sacrifices, and they are on the 100th one. Then you have Indradev, and he is always very envious. He has this nature of envy. He's always afraid that he's going to, somebody's after his position. It doesn't matter why they're doing what they're doing. He always thinks it's something to do with him, that they are going to take away his position. So he doesn't want King Prithu to do the 100th yagya. He doesn't want him to do the 100th war sacrifice. So he is up to his tricks. He gets bewildered very easily. So we'll continue from here. So when the son of King Prithu was informed by Atri of King Indra's trick, he immediately became very angry and followed Indra to kill him, calling, "Wait, wait." So King Indra was fraudulent, dressed as a sannyasi, having knotted his hair on his head and smeared ashes all over his body. Upon seeing such dress, the son of King Prithu considered Indra a religious man and pious sannyasi, therefore he did not release his arrows. So let's do a prayer. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Mukham Krote Vachalam Pangum Langyatagrim Yat Kirpatam Hamande Shri Gurundi Dharanam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishram Hari Om Tassat Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Cheva Narotamam Devim Sasvitim Vyasam Tato Jaya Madhuriyat Nasta Prishwabhadareshu Nityam Bhagavad Sevya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Nistiki. Hare Krishna. So when Atri Muni saw that the son of King Prithu did not kill Indra, but returned deceived by him, Atri Muni again instructed him to kill the heavenly king, because he thought that Indra had become the lowest of all demigods. Although he is the king of demigods, it seemed like that he has done a very petty, very low action due to his impeding the execution of King Prithu's sacrifice. So being thus informed, the grandson of King Vaina, so that was Prithu's father, immediately began to follow Indra, who was fleeing through the sky in great haste. He was very angry with him and he chased him just as the king of the vultures chased Ravan. So this morning was the pastime of Ravan, how he was chased by the king of vultures when he was kidnapping Sita. When Indra saw that the son of Prithu was chasing him, he immediately abandoned his false dress and left the horse, because he realized that if he's been chased, then obviously he's been caught, so no point pretending now. So, and he left the horse and scrambled. Although he disappeared from that very spot, and the great hero, the son of Maharaj Prithu, he returned the horse to his father's sacrificial arena. My dear Lord Vidur, when the great sages observed the wonderful prowess of the son of King Prithu, they all agreed to give him the name Vijitashava. That's a new name now for the son of Maharaj Prithu. My dear Vidur, Indra, being the king of heaven and very powerful, immediately brought dense darkness upon the sacrificial arena. Covering the whole scene in this way, he again took away the horse. So he was not going to give up. He didn't want them to do the 100th sacrifice. He was not going to give up. And he was finding like different tricks, different ways to steal the horse so they could not complete the 100 yagyas. Covering the whole scene in this way, he again took away the horse, which was chained with golden shackles near the wooden instrument where animals were sacrificed. The great sage Atri again pointed out to the son of King Prithu that Indra was fleeing through the sky. The great hero, the son of Prithu, chased him again. But when he saw that Indra was carrying in his hand a staff with a skull at the top and was again wearing the dress of a sannyasi, he still chose not to kill him. So we are sort of programmed. Soon as we see somebody dressed like a sannyasi or a religious person, we don't want to harm them. We don't want to insult them. We just have this programming in us. Whereas you might find in the Western society, they're completely opposite. They have no respect for anyone, although it's a lot of thank yous and please and all that, but they don't respect any authority whatsoever. They don't respect religious people. They don't respect royalty. They don't respect doctors and solicitors and the police. They don't have any respect for everyone. You go to a doctor's surgery, it will say that please be polite. If you're rude, you'll be asked to leave these premises, which means people do get very rude and violent as well, in such places. Whereas in India, we show respect to every authority, even we show respect to this moon, the sun, the wind. We respect everything and everybody. And this is the thing that maybe we do too much respect, and then people take advantage of us. When the great sage Atri again gave directions, the son of King Prithu became very angry and placed an arrow on his bow. So Atri is having to tell him that, this is Indra. Upon seeing this, King Indra immediately abandoned the false dress of sannyasi and giving up the horse, made himself invisible. So this is going on again and again. Then the great hero, Vijitashva, the son of King Prithu, again took the horse and returned to his father's sacrificial arena. Since that time, certain men with a poor fund of knowledge have adopted the dress of a false sannyasi. It was King Indra who introduced this. So Srila Prabhupada is telling that this trick of dressing like a mendicant and pretending to be a religious person or realized person, it was first time it was done by Indra himself. So, what to say about us? Since time immemorial, the sannyas order has carried out the Tridanda. Later, Shankaracharya introduced the Ekdandi sannyas. A Tridandi sannyasi is a Vaishnava sannyasi, and an Ekdandi sannyasi is a Mayavadi sannyasi. There are many other types of sannyasis who are not approved by Vedic rituals. A type of pseudo sannyas was introduced by Indra when he tried to hide himself from the attack of Vijitashva, the great son of King Prithu. Now, there are many different types of sannyasis. Some of them go naked, some of them carry a skull and trident, generally known as Kappa Lik. All of them were introduced under some meaningless circumstances, and those who have a poor fund of knowledge accept these false sannyasis and their pretenses, although they are not bona fide guides to spiritual advancement. So, anybody can start a movement. It's like a business. Anybody can just dress up, and away they go. People start believing that they are religious and very God enlightened. At the present moment, some missionary institutions, without referring to the Vedic rituals, have introduced some sannyasis who engage in sinful activities. The sinful activities forbidden by the Shastras are illicit relationships, intoxication, meat eating, and gambling. So this is our regulations. These so-called sannyasis indulge in all these activities. They eat meat and flesh, fish, eggs, and just about everything. They sometimes drink with the excuse that without alcohol, fish and meat, it is impossible to remain in the cold countries near the Arctic zone. These sannyasis introduce all these simple activities in the name of serving the poor. And consequently, poor animals are cut to pieces and go into the bellies of these sannyasis. So that is not sannyasi. They're not following the regulations that are in the scriptures, then they can't be called sannyasis. As described in the following verses, such sannyasis are pakhandis. Vedic literature states that a person who puts on Lord Narayan on the level with Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma immediately becomes a pakhandi, as stated in the Puranas. Yastu Narayan Devam Brahma Rudradi Devithi Samatveneva Vikshita Sa Pashandi Bhaved Duvam. In Kali Yuga, the Pakhandis are very prominent. However, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has tried to kill all these Pakhandis by introducing his Sankirtan movement. So when they say kill, it means their pretense or their mentality. Those who take advantage of the Sankirtan movement of the International Society for Krishna consciousness will be able to save themselves from the influence of these Pakhandis, because people, this is us, we don't know any better. We believe if somebody tells us like this, we say yes, that without checking. We never check anything. We take the word for it and we believe it. There's so many movements like that. People just believe it at face value. Whatever different forms Indra assumed as a mendicant because of his desire to seize the horse were symbols of atheistic philosophy. According to Vedic civilization, sannyas is one of the essential items in the program of the Varnashram institution. One should accept sannyas according to the parampara system of the acharyas. At the present moment, however, many so-called sannyasis or mendicants have no understanding of God consciousness. Such sannyas was introduced by Indra because of his jealousy of Maharaj Prithu, and what he introduced is again appearing in the age of Kali. Practically none of the sannyasis in this age are bona fide. No one can introduce any new system into the Vedic way of life. If one does so out of malice, he's to be known as Pasandi or atheist. So sometimes they say Pasandi, sometimes they say Pakhandi, same thing. In the Vaishnava Tantra, it is said, Yastu Narayam Devam Brahma Rudradi Devatihi Samatneva Viksheta Sapashandi Bhaved Dhruvam. So that's the same verse we sang earlier. So although it is forbidden, there are many Pashandis who coin terms like Dridra Narayan and Swami Narayan, although not even such demigods as Brahma and Shiva can be equal to Narayan. So Prabhupada is saying that these movements, Dridra Narayan, Swami Narayan, they just concoct it out of somebody's own imagination. Or what they do, they take the bona fide scriptures and they twist them to their own imagination, or they misunderstand them. So, for example, it'll say that you become one with the Lord, you merge into Krishna, you merge into the Brahman. So they say, yes, you become that, you become God, you merge into it completely. What they miss out is that you merge, but you keep your individuality. That does not change. Merging doesn't mean that you have also become God. We are separated parts and parcel of God, and we will eternally be separated parts and parcels of God. The sunshine cannot become sun. Right? The sun particles cannot become the sun. They are the sunshine. They are separated from the sun. Although the quality may be same, but they are separated. And this is how we are also with Krishna. We have similar quality, but we are tiny, and Krishna is unlimited. In this way, King Indra, in order to steal the horse from King Prithu's sacrifice, adopted several orders of sannyas. Some sannyasis go naked, some they wear in garments. Okay, so we've already discussed this. I'm going to move on. Maharaj Prithu, who was celebrated as very powerful, immediately took up his bow and arrows and prepared to kill Indra himself, because Indra had introduced such irregular sannyas orders. So this is the other thing. Not was he only trying to steal the horse, he was bringing up all these imaginative sannyas orders as well to fool them. So it's the duty of the king not to tolerate the introduction of any religious systems. Since King Prithu was an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, certainly his duty was to cut down all kinds of irreligious systems. Now, this is what Krishna does when he realizes that the Dharma is broken down, the disciplic succession is broken down, and the knowledge is lost. Then he comes himself. He says, okay, the Guru Parampara has broken down. I shall come down and restart this Parampara once again, like he did 5,000 years ago. One of the reasons why Krishna came down, because he realized that the knowledge has been lost and the disciplic succession is broken because of these people who concoct their own versions. They break the system that was been coming on all the way from Krishna to Brahma to Narad to the sun god. They have been coming down, and then you get some people coming in there, they twist the philosophy and they break it. So Maharaj Prithu, who was celebrated as very powerful, immediately took up his bow and arrows and prepared to kill Indra because of his religious systems. So following in his footsteps, all heads of state should themselves be bona fide representatives of God, following the footsteps of King Prithu, and should cut down all religious systems. Unfortunately, they are cowards who declare a secular state. So obviously, Prabhupada is talking about, like in India, such a mentality is a way of compromising religious systems. But because of this, citizens are generally becoming uninterested in spiritual advancement. Thus, the situation deteriorates to such an extent that human society becomes hellish. So when the priests and all others saw Maharaj Prithu were very angry and prepared to kill Indra, so they requested to him, "O great soul, don't kill him, for only sacrificial animals can be killed in a sacrifice." So that would have spoiled the sacrifice. That's for one. And such other direction given by Shastras, that you cannot kill a human being when you're killing animals. Animal killing is intended for different purposes. It tests the proper pronunciation of Vedic mantras, and an animal being put into the sacrificial fire should come out with a new life. So it's not that they're killed and eaten or something, used as food. They're actually giving a new body. No one should ever be killed in a sacrifice meant for the satisfaction of Lord Vishnu. So which means no one is killed when they are doing sacrifice to Vishnu. No one is killed. It's just that new bodies are created and mantras are tested. That's all. How then could Indra be killed when he's actually worshipped at the yajna? So he has his share in this yajna and accepted as part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, the priests requested King Prithu not to kill him, because, like I said, he would have spoiled the yajna altogether. Dear King, Indra's powers are already reduced due to his attempt to impede the execution of your sacrifice. So when these demigods do these low jobs, their potency is reduced. We shall call him by Vedic mantras which were never before used, and certainly he will come. Thus, by the power of our mantra, we shall cast him into the fire because he is your enemy. By chanting the Vedic mantras properly in a sacrifice, one can perform many wonderful things. In Kali Yuga, however, there are no qualified Brahmins who can chant the mantras properly. Consequently, no attempt should be made to perform such big sacrifices. In this age, the only sacrifice recommended is the Sankirtan movement. My dear Vidur, so we talk about Vidur because Maitreya, Sage Maitreya, explaining this pastime to him. After giving the king this advice, the priests who had been engaged in performing the sacrifice called for Indra, the king of heaven, in a mood of great anger. When they were just ready to put the oblation in the fire, So they're saying we'll take care of him for messing about with this yajna, which was actually meant for the citizens, for the country, for the world, and he's interfering. So they said we'll take care of him. And then suddenly Lord Brahma appeared on the scene and forbade them to start the sacrifice. So Lord Brahma is there, the first human being or first demigod, and he overlooks everything when he sees that, because we're all his children, when he sees things are not, there's something that's going to mess up the whole system, then he will intervene. Otherwise, he doesn't intervene. He'll intervene at that point that, no, I know you're angry, but this is not a good idea. And plus, Indra is his son. Anyway, they're like his sons. So he doesn't want, these things happening. It's like one big family. And now, he doesn't want Indra being killed. And Indra is very important in his position. He's very important. He has a role and not easily replaceable. Not everybody can become Indra. Sometimes when there's not a person suitable to become Indra, so the person has to be qualified and suitable to become that position, then God himself sometimes takes that position as well. Lord Brahma addressed them, my dear sacrificial performers, you cannot kill Indra, the king of heaven. It is not your duty. You should know that Indra is as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Indeed, he is one of the most powerful systems of Personality of Godhead. You are trying to satisfy all the demigods by the performance of this yajna. But you should know that all these demigods are parts and parcel of Indra, the king of heaven. So how then can you kill him in this great sacrifice? So we'll leave it there. Few things for discussion. So I want to welcome you all first of all. Thank you, Prem Prakash Prabhu, Jai Prabhu, Maharani Badraji, Mehak ji, Bata Prabhu, Prem Prakash. So who's there? Must be Mataji and Radhya listening. And welcome, Sarveshi Mataji. Welcome back. Hope you're feeling much better. Thank you all so much for joining. And would love to hear what you understood from this. And actually, I was just thinking, they mentioned that King Indra, he introduced all these dongi sannyas thing that is going on so prevalent now in our society, that there's so many dongis and then they end up in jail for their deeds. They do so many corrupt things and then eventually they get caught by the law and then they are paying, many of them are, in the jail, paying for their sins, paying for their crimes. And there's still people not willing to believe that they have done anything wrong. They have followers, their followers who will not accept that they have done anything wrong. There's so much brainwashed into all this. And also thinking, so he was the original person who did this and he gave ideas to society that, yes, if you become a donkey, you can get away with it. And they have tried to get away with it for so long. And sometimes you see this like Hollywood movies they make, and especially Radharani, she doesn't want to watch it because she thinks it's so nonsense. And they are giving ideas to people. This show like terrorism and things like that. They give ideas to people how to destroy, and then you get these terrorists actually mimicking these ideas. They use them. Say, oh, yeah, that's a good idea. They're actually giving ideas to people through movies. So it's like that, the powerful people give ideas to other people, and then they abuse by using these. So they shouldn't do this kind of thing. That you're giving wrong ideas to society, and then the society misuses them. So it's like that. Anyway, so well, we have two people listening. Then Maharani Badraji, would you like to say anything, Mataji? Haribol.
Sorry, Prabhu, I'm just doing Abhishek and listening. So I might say in the end, maybe something.
Okay, so we'll go to Mehak Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji. Would you like to say something about this pastime or anything you liked in there that stood out for you? Okay, Mahak Mataji has joined us for the first time, and they've started coming to the Sunday programs and festivals, and they're from India. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Very well.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Haji. Anything that stood out for you, Mataji, in this reading?
No, it's all clear, Prabhuji.
Okay. Would you like to add
Yeah.
anything? What do you think about these donkey people? Like, they are misusing the public, the innocent public gets fooled by these people.
Like I'm just saying, just a bit. I'm just saying, in this time, the Christianity is very famous in India. The Christian increase their religion, and they include the people from our community. So I just thought about it like, why did we don't increase the Krishna consciousness in a people, around the people? So it's like every people's duty around us to increase the, it's out of subject, but it's in my mind. So that every people who like believe in Krishna, trust in Krishna, it's a duty to increase the Krishna consciousness in every person.
Sure. Thank you. I think, when I had this Sunday, when we had Chaitanya Charan Prabhu, he gave class and he explained about the Ramayana. Some people quite new, and they came to me and they said, wow, we never understood Ramayana like this. And this is the problem in India, that they misunderstand Krishna consciousness and they misunderstand Ramayana. Right?
Exactly. So in that, before a couple of days ago, one of the girl who's coming from India, they sent me a link of the uh, like I don't know the name of the people who increase the people in the Christianity, and she asked me like, you are watching, please. So I'm just asking. I know they blessed you if you're watching this like the lecture of the Christianity. They blessed you. I'm said to girl. I'm already blessed with the best, so I don't need anyone else blessing instead of Krishna. So she's like asking, okay. So I'm just thought about it, like the Christianity is famous, and they increase the people day by day. So why not are the Hindu people, and who are the people like to the Krishna consciousness? Why we don't like allow the peoples to increase in our community? So we're doing these things like in that, so people know about the Krishna.
Thank you, Madam. I think she wants to make a contribution. So you have a preacher, another preacher in the house.
She's really wake up in the 4 a.m. She really joined me and doing the seva of the Thakurji.
Thank you so much, Madam.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Pata Prabhu, Hari Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I think Sarveshwar Mataji unmuted her mic.
That's okay. Mataji will contribute. It's okay.
Okay. Just some points which I could relate it is like, as you said, dong sannyasis taking the advantage of the innocent. Like we are seeing so many things happening in India, especially.
Yeah.
Because we have the devotional right from the beginning, but as you said, it is done by several people for their own way. That is where actual philosophy is delineated, and it is not there. And I was thinking one more thing, Prabhuji, like in cricket, Sehwag says that baap hota hai, beta hota hai. Like that here, Prithu Maharaj's son could be deceived by Indra, but Prithu Maharaj is not deceived. So Lord are empowered by the Lord or the devotees. They will not be deceived by this kind of dong saints. But if we are not into spirituality, then there are chances of getting delineated by these kind of dong babas. And that's what I thought. And I just want to tell one pastime because it's related to parampara system. So when Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj Goswami was there, so his disciples came to him and said that they met one devotee. He is very, very good. And they wanted Saraswati Swami to come and meet him. And Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj said, okay, I will meet him. And he was just delaying it because he don't want to meet him. And they forced him again that, please, Maharaj, please come. He's really a superb devotee. He's very nice devotee. And Maharaj said, okay, I will come, but do one thing for me. Go and ask him who is his spiritual master. And then they went and asked him, and he said, he just laughed and said that I don't have any Maharaj as such. I don't have any spiritual master. I just learned by reading the scriptures. And they came back and they told to Saraswati Swami Maharaj, and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj said, I don't want to meet him because he doesn't have any spiritual master, means he is not coming from any parampara system. So there is no point in meeting such a person. So that's what it is like. One should come from a parampara system. Then it adds a value to his knowledge as well.
Very good.
Yeah, that's all, Prabhuji.
Yeah, excellent. Because I was going to ask you that question, because this is a problem. People don't know, and this is why they get put off with religion, because people don't know who to trust, who not to trust. You see on the news so many cults and organizations who are like revered, these babas, they're revered, and then you find that they're in the background. There's a lot of nonsense going on. People get put off by this. People don't know anymore who they should trust, who they should trust. Now you're guilty before proven not guilty. Like, you just don't know. Can I even trust this person? That what's this person? It seems to be making sense, but how can I trust him? And it's because of these wrong people coming into religion, have spoiled it for people, that even the bona fide religions are under doubt. This is a problem, isn't it? So, how can we change that? How can we get people? I suppose what you just said, really, we have to introduce the system. It's like Mehak Mataji said as well. We have to be more proactive and educate the people. What's the criteria of recognizing a bona fide spiritual master, a bona fide movement? Right? There is a criteria. Only if they meet the criteria, we should trust them. If they just made something out of their own imagination, then we should reject them. Is that what you're saying, Prabhu?
Yeah, right, Prabhuji. That's
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Okay. Prem Prakash Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you. So, Prabhuji, it is very wonderful narration. Actually, we need to understand. Obviously, there is a duplicity, and there is mercy, which is being actually demonstrated over here. The duplicity is, we can see that the duplicity can be introduced by any level, from the bottom level to the topmost level. And here the duplicity is actually introduced by Indra. It is said that when there's fear as well, there is chance of uncertainty. Although it's one of the spiritual rasa as well, but this fear for the position is a cause of fall down as well. Right. So Indra, being on the topmost position, is trying to introduce the duplicity, and for the people like son of Prithu Maharaj, although he's not at the topmost position, but still has mercy towards the saintly people. So it demonstrates that they demonstrate the situation where we it demonstrates a situation where even we fail to understand how to behave in certain situation, or to recognize a person from a devotee perspective, or from any or general people. It's very difficult to recognize even a devotee. It said that neophyte devotee for a neophyte devotee, it's difficult to recognize a devotee. But what is important is that even though it is there, it's not in our remit. Um, maybe it's not. I mean, just I'm speculating on this part. Sorry, I shouldn't have done that. But it's not in our remit to take a decision uh, for the spiritual people or godly people until we are asked, until we are in that position, so we can deal with them. Um, there are certain examples, there are certain examples as well, because Prithu Maharaj, in this example, Prithu Maharaj is authority who is actually saying so higher than Indra himself, because he is a plenary portion of incarnation of the Supreme Lord. So he can take decision to kill Indra. However, his son decided not to do so, even though he's knowing as a Indra, but he is still giving respect to the sannyasis. Um, so, that is one, but that is something which I randomly can collect on that really. The other thing which is important to understand is that coming from this scripture is that there are a lot many instances where obviously we see people around, but it's very difficult for us to understand how to deal with them. It's a practical example. If we go to any holy place or any of the place, we see a lot of people around who might be genuine and might not be genuine. Saying so, they come for bhiksha or madhukari, and a normal person will not tend to understand what their intention is basically. And because it's a Kali Yuga, time of duplicity, so many get fooled as well until they are learned in the scriptures themselves. But they even for us basically, we are not that learned, and we will get fooled as well uh, when we go to sometimes holy dham. Sometimes if we live in India, then people will come in that sannyasi ways. So how can we recognize them? It's very important. And I think if we have not done, then we should at least do the guru disciple course in ISKCON, which is introduced, so that gives a lot of insights how to actually recognize the saintly people and what to do. But nonetheless, we should actually still have respect for them. And if not, we can do a change, then we should keep away from them as much as possible. If we are not powered enough, and we should say Hare Krishna, and then we should go around. I've heard from many other senior people as well, because we see what is happening is that if they are devotee, then we tend to create offense against them. And if they're not devotee, then associating with them will actually degrade us in some manner. Like Indra was degraded by taking association of Kapalik or bogus sannyas order, so he got degraded. Similarly, if we take association of them, basically, then we will get degraded as well. So if we are not powerful enough to give association, we should actually refrain from them somehow by saying Hare Krishna and then doing a pranam and then move on. So although this situation seems to be easy, I mean, this narration seems to be uh, easy to understand, but there's a lot of emotions, thoughts, which we can directly relate in our daily life. When we actually live in India, go to India, we hardly find any saintly people around this place in the UK. So, I mean, until we obviously know that they are saintly people, we go to them. But it's in the India, we come across the Veshbhusha of saintly people on a daily basis. And it's very difficult. So the safest thing is to pay them respects and keep away from them if you are not sure, until you realize, until you are aware of them, that they are the saintly people, and then you can associate with them. I mean, but and then take knowledge. But the important thing is that not to forget paying respect to them because of their Veshbhusha. And if there's something which is not done correctly, you can keep away from them. Um, That's what I could add, Prabhuji. I might be wrong somehow over here, but that's practicality of I'm just trying to think from the practical how to introduce this to this narration practically in my life. So yep.
Yeah, very nice points. Yeah, this is the. I'm just going to say quickly, we're running out of time. The problem is that people don't do their research. This is the problem. People don't do research, and we take people at face value, at their dress, and we trust them. I mean, I've been to like say Gita Bhavan wearing my Krishna conscious clothes, and people come to me, ask me if I could look at their hand. Like they already believe that because you're wearing this dress, you know everything. You're a pandit, you're a learned man, and you can tell their future, and they will give you money if you want anything, like that. That they automatically make assumptions that you know everything just because you're wearing those clothes. If you're wearing a suit, people assume that you're very educated. Could be somebody works in a factory all week. He fancies wearing a suit. In the weekend, we used to have back in the 70s, people working foundries or in the blast furnace. In the weekend, they want to dress up nicely. They want to wear a suit, and they can't even probably write their own name. But people think they are educated because they're wearing a suit. It's like that. We connect the dress with the position, and that is not always the case. Thank you so much. Hanji, Sureshi Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everybody. I'm okay, but I don't know what happened to my throat. Since I've come, it's inside some, I've got, I don't know, it's like a mucus. My voice is not very good. Well, I say just one or two things. Like Indra is always scared of his position. And because he's the head of the demigods, and he always scared in case somebody takes his place. It happens in this material world as well. People are scared, and sometimes if somebody go against them, they try to kill or do something like Indra did in there. So people follow the same pattern here as well. And when a lot of time people just do tapasya for Krishna, they do austerity, but Indra's always scared. He thinks, oh, if he does more than me, then he's gonna take my position. So he tries to disturb them, and he can't come naturally. So he sends one of his, apsaras. They come and disturb him. It's his nature, and because Swargalos is material planet as well, like here. So that's why they're envious as well. But they are the higher position than us. They are pure devotees. So many times they've been cursed, and then they got their position again. But the pure devotees, they never forget Krishna. So we do so many wrong things, and then we should never forget Krishna. And then Krishna will forgive us, because Indra was forgiven so many times. He does so many things, but he was forgiven. And so Krishna will forgive us if you are pure devotees, and we have to work pure devotees. We have to do the devotional service, and not close the first one. We have to chant the Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. Yeah, absolutely right. This is what you have to do. Thank you. I think it's 1:45 now. Do a couple of rounds. Sureshi Mataji, are you able to chant?
Can do it. My throat is not very good, Prabhu.
Okay, that's okay. Partha Prabhu, would you like to do a round? And
Yes, Prabhuji.
maybe, I don't know, Prem Prakash Prabhu, are you able to do a second round, Prabhu? Okay, let's do for one first of all anyway. Partha Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Advaita Gadadhara.